To do the critique. I'm going to try and do a kind of a speed round because it's against my nature when I give feedback to go fast. But let me try and do this really quick. First of all, this is Ben's and it's awesome. I love this photo. It's so dynamic and compelling, and the splash of red, that little bit of red, really I don't know, really makes a statement. So nice job on the photo. It's amazing. Now, there's a few things that I'd like to have you think about and consider changing. First of all, you're crowding the edges. So, like these fingers, these toes, these swatches, these words, they're all pushed out to the edges. Now, I don't mind if you leave the photo out a little bit this way to the edge, although if he had a little bit more space, over to his right, that would be great if you could move the photo over. If not, if you have to leave him there, then so be it. There are tools in Photoshop that you could use to kind of clone in more stuff, but if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. I think that you could really push on your typography. So you're using kind of an old style on the word monochromatic here. I would use a sans serif and nothing else on this piece. Your audience is very young and hip, and so you need to use sans serif. Find a sans serif that speaks to you. I don't know if this is a default sans serif, but try using something that's got plenty of kick and boldness, and I love the white space in this photo. You could really take advantage of that. Bring your text in here. Use strong alignments. You might even consider having not straight up and down alignment, because the angles in here are part of what's making this photo so dynamic. So you might try something just a little creative. I would get rid of this pink swatch. It doesn't go with the rest of your photo. These other swatches are great, and 3 is plenty. I actually took a screenshot of your image and took it into Photoshop, and I want to show that to you. And just as an example of an idea, I put a quote in there. There is a requirement that you have some text on your photo, and I brought in the monochromatic and kind of simplified and made it smaller so it doesn't stand out so much. And I don't want yours to look like mine. I was just doing that as an example. I really think you can push on your text. And I like that you've got a strong line here, but why not bring it in away from the edge? Why not make these words that are not important to your message? Red monochromatic has nothing to do with your message, so really make them, diminish their importance visually. Anyway, nice job, Ben. That's a beautiful photo. Love the potential in that piece. Okay, I believe this one is Ashley's. Again, what an amazing photo. Wow, these flowers are prolific, beautiful, and the sunburst. How did you do that? It's gorgeous. I think the text is taking away from it. Although you've done some really nice things with your text. You've got a great contrast between these two typefaces. And I love the contrast in Emerson. I love that you made this small because it really isn't important. I love that you spelled complementary correctly. Nice work there. And when you label your colors, you need to use the color names from the color wheel that's given to you in your textbook. So that would be red, actually. So even though it's pink, it's a tint of pink, which means you've added, or tint of red, which means you've added white to it. So label it red and green. That's a complementary color scheme. I'd love to see this text be more compelling. I'm not sure how you do that. I think it's a good idea that you made a box because your text needs a place to live. In other words, this photo has so much contrast in it, it's going to be really hard to read the text unless you put something behind it. So I think that's a great idea. And I love that you have a strong alignment here. This text just isn't, it's just not as powerful and compelling as the rest of the photo is. And I'm sure there's some options, things that you can try there. I'm just not sure how to explain in this brief video how to do it. You might look at different typefaces. This script tends to get used a lot. So maybe look at a script that hasn't been used so much. And maybe instead of making the word laughs the same size as the other words, make it bigger. So don't just contrast in one way with typeface, but contrast in multiple ways with size, maybe with color, maybe with direction. I don't know. Uh, and the word "the" is so unimportant. Could it be small? Really put your text together in a way that lets it speak with contrast. And anyway, gorgeous photo and a great start on your using principles here, Ashley. So good. Just keep pushing on this text. All right, the next one I believe is Kelly's. This one that has kind of fall colors. If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk through my garden forever. Oh, that's awesome. Love the quote. I'm curious why you used these colors when you've got this color. Not sure what color you should use, though. I guess I'd have to look at the color wheel. And these aren't bad colors, but this red is so prominent. Even in the yellows here, you see that red coming out. So if we did look at a color wheel, is there something we could do with red, yellow, and, well, you could red, yellow, and blue, but I'd hate to see you use blue. If you want to, you could say this is a triadic color scheme, and then just don't use the blue. Use 2 out of the 3 colors from that triadic scheme. Your text, same kind of idea as in Ashley's. It's just not speaking to me. I would take this little hyphen off right there and move Alfred Tennyson over. I would consider right aligning your text so that it unites it with the photo instead of divides it. You've got a lot of decorative elements that are pulling away from the beauty of your photo and of your text. If you can minimize that, don't let this stuff up here, this decoration stuff, take so much space. That way you'd have a lot more white space around the edges to frame your photo. I like that you made these words small. Keep those small. You might consider making your swatches more organic shaped, maybe like the petal of a flower or something. Yeah, it's a great start. Keep pushing on it. Okay, the next one is Emily's. Oh, was I saying Emily? I meant to say Kelly. Anyway, this one is Emily's. And Emily, this is a beautiful photo too. Really nice job. I really like how you brought this blue into a really warm photo to make this triadic color scheme work. Teal, indigo, gold. So you've taken right from the color wheel these names, gold and indigo and teal. So that's not quite a triadic color scheme, although I think it's working fairly well. So triadic means that the 3 colors are the same distance apart from each other. So on this color wheel, if you used teal and gold, the 3rd color would be violet. Now, teal and indigo, if you're using teal, oh, that's not indigo, by the way. Indigo has a lot more blue in it. So I think this is more violet. So maybe you just mislabeled that color there. I love the contrast in your text. This is a nice script that I haven't seen a lot of, so it doesn't feel overused. Her eyes, because they're looking up here, they kind of lead me away. But there's not much you can do about that because you've got your good white space, your good lead space over here. And this placement is fine. I like this strong alignment. I would experiment with aligning things over on this side so it unites it with the photo. You might even flip the photo so she's on the left and then keeping this left aligned on the right side of her, if that makes sense. I think you could make these color swatches a lot smaller and not so overbearing. But again, really well done. You're not letting your decorative elements kind of take over here. All right, let's see if I can make this one show up here. I'd have to move my browser window a little bit. This one is Jerry's, and I know that Jerry is planning on coming to see me today, so I won't say a whole lot. The photo is cool, Jerry. I love the lighting on it. You've got a really nice focal point in these shoes, and I think you should really capitalize on that. So to do that, you'll just need to work with your text. Let the text unite with the shoes with an alignment that's, over this way, over to the right. Let the text stand out more. Right now it's too dark on this dark background. Let this unimportant information be a lot less prominent and a lot less dominant. Keep your strong contrast. Really let the most important words pop out, and maybe even simplify your contrast so that instead of having dance, soul, and body be contrastive, maybe just pick one word or one phrase to pop out. Anyway, we can talk more when you come in to see me today. I know you emailed me about wanting to, so I think I'll end this video. Good job, you guys. See you in class.